Hey there, we're the Nomadic Gardener, here to chronicle our experiences gardening here in Arizona and wherever we end up next. So it's getting this started. It's kind of going to be a channel to overview our challenges gardening starting here in northern Arizona, where we're at currently, and as we move about the country, which is likely to happen every 2 to 5 years, depending on opportunities and what comes our way. So let us know what we can give to you guys, what you're interested in seeing, and we'll address that as we go along. But just to get it started, kind of why we're here is to go over our challenges, our experiences, hopefully help you guys learn on things that we've screwed up and we've learned along the way, so you don't have to go through the same experiences quite as much. We'll also go over a little bit here as to what we're gardening and why we're gardening. First off, why we're gardening. We're gardening because we wanted to supplement our food source, knowing where it came from with fresh veggies. We know how they're grown, what's gone into them, what's been used on them, which for us is pretty much nothing. We buy some good soil. We don't have great soil here in northern Arizona to grow fresh veggies in. So we go buy our soil. It's organic soil from the local nursery, and we enjoy doing that. With that, we've had good luck so far with tomatoes. Romas are the variety that we tend to grow here, just because we enjoy them personally. There's probably other varieties that would grow better, but for our palates, what we really enjoy, Romas are our go-to at this point. Lettuce does all right as long as we take care of it, get enough shade. It doesn't go to bolt, which is always going to be a challenge for us up here in the summertime temperatures. Cucumbers do fairly well. Carrots are great as long as we give them enough water. Kale, spinach, onion, garlic, and a variety of herbs have all been pretty solid producers for us in the time that we've been growing, which I'll get into that next. It's been about 3 years we've been growing here in northern Arizona. It's been a fun learning experience. We started off the first year with 2 3x8 beds and 1 2x8 bed, giving us 80-ish square feet of growable garden space, which was good to start with, but we knew we had an area cordoned off set aside for a little bit more space. So the second year, we built a few more beds. We had 2 2x3 beds, 1 1x8 bed, and a 2x2 bed, giving us an extra 24 square feet of growing space. So right now, we've maxed out our growing space for what we set aside. We're not going to get any bigger while we're here, but we have about 104 square feet of growing space, which seems like enough for us. And we have one other person that helps grow and water when we're on vacation or whatever else we're doing. And between the three of us, it seems to produce a fair amount to supplement or be the primary source for at least part of the year for a lot of our fresh produce, vegetables, etc. This channel is going to be covering a lot of the challenges, things we've learned, and what we're doing, what works for us here and any place we may move down the road. So challenges that we run into here in northern Arizona, where we're at right now, is we're at about 7,000 feet. So we have lots of early and late snowstorms. That being said, our scheduled or predicted last hard frost is usually May 15th, but we just last year had a snow of a few inches that accumulated and stuck around for a couple of days, which came in at the end of May. So that's a challenge that we've run into, and we've been trying to mitigate ways to basically get around that, protect our crops, be able to start sooner or later, etc. With a 7,000 foot climate, so we have shifts from 90s to even low hundreds potentially. It's rare up here, but it does happen. And it can get down into even midsummer, down into the 40s or so at night, which creates its own challenges for some of the plants that don't do well with large temperature shifts. I'll get into that a little bit later. Wildlife, so we have everything from elk and deer, which you kind of expect in this area. There's lots of rabbits, and they can get in if you have an open garden, which we don't. We'll get into our fence system in a later video. Squirrels, which are the bane of our existence and decimate our garden almost yearly no matter what we do. We've found a little bit of ways. We're hoping for a better luck this third season so far. And lizards are the new challenge lizards and birds, we're having a new challenge with how to mitigate their access, especially early on. Which gets into my last topic for this video, our intro video, is, and we're in springtime now, so a lot of people are starting seedlings and stuff inside. We found that we don't have much success with that overall. It's moderate success, I should say. A lot of the seedlings that we start inside, it's a little bit too temperature controlled, which means they do great when they're in here in the house and we can take care of them and all that kind of stuff. But as soon as we move them out, even if it's past the last frost, they don't have any crazy snows or frosts or anything like that to deal with. And if they make it through the gauntlet of all the wildlife, the temperature swings that we tend to have, especially as we get into early growing season, where we have pretty warm, nice days during the day, up into the 70s, 80s or something like that, but at night it's still getting down into the 40s or high 30s, somewhere in there potentially. The huge temperature swings seems to kill off a lot of the little seedlings and stuff that we started inside and we're really excited about. So we found that most of the time, if we start from seed outside, just direct sow, we've had pretty good luck. As long as they make it through the initial gauntlet of sprouting and not getting eaten by the lizards and all the wildlife, then they do all right. So I'll come back to the wildlife actually a little bit. The reason we have such a problem, we've kind of figured out, is the dry climate, especially late spring into early summer, when a lot of the new growth is coming up from our garden, the wildlife is running short on water. We tend to run fairly dry in this area. So we're watering consistently, the plants are happy, and they're a large percentage water. So all these lizards, birds, squirrels especially, deer and elk, all want to get to a decent water source or some fresh vegetation for them to munch on. And so we've had to set up multiple layers of protection, which we've had better luck with recently, but we'll see how this season brings our tests, essentially. So that being said, that's our first video. We'll keep you updated on how things go. We'll give you an overview of our garden, show you what we've started with, what we've built out, the fence system we've built up to protect against the larger animals as well as the smaller ones. And most recently for this year, it's the first year we've actually built some hoop houses. So we'll make a little video on how we did that, the challenges we came into, and suggestions that if we were to do it again from scratch, what we would have done differently to make it a little bit more solid, a little easier to build, and go from there. So like, comment, let us know what else you want to see. We'll take that into account. We're new to this channel and building this out. We love to hear your feedback. Anything that you want to see, anything you want us to try, any suggestions. If there's something we can implement that fits into our plan for our garden, then we might be happy to try it out and see how the experiment goes. We'll be a little bit of a guinea pig for you, and we'll let you know how new things we try go, so you don't have to try it in your garden. Thanks for watching.